Hello and welcome back to the Serverless Hub. I'm your host Nisal Wickremage. You can follow me on LinkedIn and GitHub. I hope you are staying safe and looking forward to the new year. In this video, we will be setting up a CDN or a content delivery network for a web API and a single page application. Before we get into the implementation details, let's understand the problem that content delivery network can solve and how it solves it. Imagine your functions app is deployed in US region. A user from US will not notice latency when using the web application or calling the web APIs. But for a user from outside US, for example Sri Lanka, may notice a latency due to geographic distance. One way to solve this issue is to deploy another instance close to Sri Lanka, say in India, so the latency is reduced. But then the engineering team will have to maintain two deployments. When users from different countries onboard, the number of deployments will increase. Content Delivery Network exists to address this use case. Azure uses network of edge servers in point of presence locations for its CDN offering. Number of point of presence locations are greater than Azure regions. Once the CDN is configured, end user will connect to a server on a point of presence location or a POP location. Then the POP location will connect to the origin Azure service through the optimal route available. Origins can be storage accounts, web apps, or function app. CDNs use multiple ways to reduce latency. For static content, such as single-page web applications and images, CDNs use caching. For dynamic content, such as APIs, CDNs use route optimization and various TCP optimizations. Eliminating TCP slow starts, using persistent connections, and tuning TCP parameters are few of the tactics. Now that we have an understanding of the idea, let's implement a CDN for the web API and the front-end app, which we built in the previous video series, Building Web APIs with Azure Functions. If you are new to the channel or Azure Functions, I recommend you go through the videos first. I'll link them in the description below. At the end of this video, the end user will be accessing both components through CDN endpoints. Let's get started. Let's switch over to the Azure portal. I have all my resources in a resource group. I'll create the CDN in the same resource group. Let's click on Create, then search for CDN, and click on Create one more time. Let's type in the name. You can use a name of your choice. There are 4 options for the pricing tier. They are ordered by price in ascending order. We need to at least select standard very soon, because standard Microsoft doesn't include dynamic site acceleration. Click on Review and Create. Click on Create. Once the CDN is created, open it up. We will first add the endpoint for the single page web app. Click on Add Endpoint. Give a name of your choice. Only important thing to keep in your mind is that this will be your endpoint URL prefix, unless of course you are using a custom domain. Select Storage Static Website as the origin type. For static content like images, storage origin type will work as well. But for single page web apps, we need to use Storage Static Website origin type in order to routing to work. Choose the correct storage account as the origin hostname. Leave the origin path empty and the origin header as is. I prefer to disable HTTP access, but feel free to keep it enabled in case you prefer otherwise. Finally, choose General Web Delivery as the optimization and click on Add. Endpoint will be created in a minute or so. Nevertheless, it can take up to 30 minutes to POP locations to be updated. Until POP locations get ready, let's create another endpoint for the function app. Click on Add Endpoint. Type in the name. Select the origin type web app. Select the function app from the drop-down for origin hostname. Again, leave the origin path empty and the origin host header as is. I will disable HTTP here as well. For optimization, I'll choose different this time since this endpoint is for dynamic content. I'll choose Dynamic Site Acceleration. When using Dynamic Site Acceleration, we need to mention probe path. CDNs will use this path to ping the API and establish optimal connection. Finally, click Add. Finally, we need to do two things. First is to add the new front-end URL to allowed origin list of the function app in the course settings. Second thing is to update the API URL in the front-end app configuration. Let's copy the API endpoint URL and update it. After about 30 minutes, pop locations will be updated. We can access the front end with the new URL. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave a comment or send us an email. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. I will see you again in the next video. Stay safe.